In this demo, we will see a tale of two developers, the development change process with and without DevOps. Our tale begins with two developers, Tom and Dave, happily developing in GitLab. They are doing what they enjoy doing in the tool they like using. They both work on issues related to normal changes. And when both developers finish their code, they commit the code for deployment. And here is where the tale of Tom and Dave become very different. Developer Tom works for a typical organization where development and operations are still separate. Developer Dave, on the other hand, works for a company that uses ServiceNow DevOps. When Tom commits his code, he has to leave GitLab, log into ServiceNow, and pull all the information together required for the change request record, and create a change request to get his code approved. The change request will now go to the Change Approval Board, or CAB, for review and approval. The CAB meetings occur every 2 weeks, so it will be at least 2 weeks before this change request can be approved. Since Dave's company uses DevOps, a change request is automatically created with all of the information related to the code commit already entered onto the record, including related applications and associated configuration items. Since policies were created for DevOps change requests, Dave's code commit passes all of the policies and was automatically approved. His code commit was immediately deployed. There was nothing for Dave to do on this change request. He immediately selects another issue and stays working in GitLab, developing the solution for the second issue. After Tom creates the change request, he goes back to GitLab and starts working on another issue. As Tom works on the second issue, he is contacted several times by the change manager to provide additional information for his first change request. There were pieces of information that Tom forgot to include. Info that the change manager did not understand, and info that was not in the required format for change requests. Every time that the change manager contacted Tom, he had to stop working to send the answers to the change manager. Dave's productivity has not slowed at all. He kept working and has completed a second issue. When he commits the second issue, DevOps automatically creates another change request for this second commit. This second change request passed all of the DevOps policies, but since there was an open incident against an associated configuration item, the change request could not be automatically approved. The change manager sees that it's a DevOps change and that the open incident has nothing to do with the code commit. It is an incident on one of the associated configuration items. The change manager works with the incident manager to resolve the incident without having to contact Dave. When the incident is resolved, the change request is approved and the code commit is deployed. The change manager never had to contact or interrupt Dave to approve the change request. Tom commits the code for the second issue. He now has to go in and create a second change request for this code. This change request will have to wait until the CAB meeting for approval. Unfortunately, the CAB meeting that includes Tom's first change request has a full agenda, so the second change request will have to wait until the following CAB meeting. This means waiting at least another 2 more weeks for approval. Finally, it's the first CAB meeting. Tom has to stop working to attend the CAB meeting. His change request is fourth on the list for CAB review. He sits there listening to other change requests that have nothing to do with the work he does. The reviews for the first 3 changes take way too long, and the meeting runs out of time to review Tom's first change request. Tom's first change request will now have to be pushed back to the next CAB meeting in 2 weeks. At this point, Tom will wait almost a month to get the change approved related to his first code commit. On the other hand, Dave has steadily worked on GitLab issues with no interruptions. He continues to commit code changes where the DevOps change requests are automatically created. And then there's Tom, who has to be highly involved with the change process and attending CAB meeting after CAB meeting to get his changes approved. So, the question is, Do you want to be a Tom or a Dave? I think the answer is clear. For more information, go to ServiceNow/DevOps. Thank you.